Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Something very interesting happened yesterday. It was the play-in one for the Chess.com Open. So two players looking to qualify for this event. Obviously, the top three players from the Open will then go to the Esports World Cup. But it was a drama-filled day, shall we say. There were two or three incidents that sparked some interesting conversations, and once again we're also going to be talking about Chess.com's Proctor. Now, for those of you unaware, I did stream the non-titled preliminary one. So how it works is, and we'll see in just a moment, you've got preliminary one with non-title players. Then the top three from that are allowed to then go into the titled qualifier, which is all title players other than Grandmasters. And then I believe the top three from that then go into the GM qualification. That is what we had yesterday. We had play-in 1, and then play-in 2 will be tomorrow, March 18th. But in terms of looking at the drama, let's change tabs. So this is how it looks like. So these 8 players have all qualified through the Title Tuesday Grand Prix and the Winter Split. They are the top 8 players, no surprises. Magnus Carlsen, Jan-Krzysztof Duda, Maxim Matlakov, Denis Lazovic, Sam Sevian, Yokivar Sindarov, Arjun Ergais, and Vincent Keimer. Hikaru Nakamura not playing as much at the moment, so he didn't go there, and I didn't even see him in the qualifiers yesterday. So yesterday, what happened is we had this. You see, I played in preliminary 1, there was titled qualifier 1, and then there was play-in 1 on the 16th of March. So how that looked, if we go, you can see it ended like this. Actually, let me just pull on this. This was the top 20 players. So you can see Jan Nepomniachtchi qualified first on 7.5. Then it was 7 points each for Nodirbek Abdusattorov and Wesley So. Nodirbek Abdusattorov would beat Wesley So in a playoff match to go through. So Jan and Nodirbek have both qualified to join those previous 8 players. Hans Niemann finishes 4th, also on 7 points. Did not play a qualifier. It went between Nodirbek and Wesley So. I believe it was down to tiebreaks, and I think it's because Hans lost, but then again, he won more games. So you tell me. Then there was Grishuk, Sedwani, Alexander Botvinnik, Maxim Matlakov. We'll get back to him in just a moment. Vladislav Artemiev, Dmitry Andreikin, Nihal Sarin, Nodirbek Yakuboyev, Fabiano Caruana. We'll get to him in just a moment. Grigory Oparin, Sinem Mavid, Nicholas Theodoro, Parham Maksudlu, Aram Akuboyev, Matthias Blubom, and Barida Danishvar. Now, the first thing we need to talk about, I believe, we're going to go to Fabiano Caruana first. You can see this is his Twitter page. And here's the tweet that he sent out yesterday. The chess.com thing disconnected me and gave me a 0-point buy in round 8. Now, reminder, there are only 9 rounds of their event where only 2 places qualify and everyone is within half a point of each other. My internet didn't drop out. I was active in the play zone, and as soon as the break timer ended, it auto forfeits me. Pretty sure I'm not the only one affected by this bug too. It doesn't even give a time penalty, just instantly forfeits you. Now, if we go back to the points, Fabiano Caruana finished on 6 points. Had he won that game in round 8, where he wasn't auto forfeited, he would have been on 7 points. He would have been here with Nodirbek, Wesley, and Hans. And then they would have been 4 players on 7, and almost certainly, maybe all 4 would have played tiebreaks. So the first thing we need to talk about is Proctor. Because all the players were required to use Proctor. I was required to use it as well. You can go see in the stream. I had only joined 16 seconds because I had an absolute nightmare. It's not Chess.com's fault. That was just my fault. I forgot how to set up the virtual camera. So I joined with 16 seconds. It's gotten better. It's gotten better, but it is still not great. I understand why they have it. The cheating numbers are looking better, but it is really, really bad. Fabi has even said he's still struggling on it. A lot of players are struggling on it because it just seems to throttle your internet. So there's a bit of lag, which is horrible in Title Tuesday, particularly, and Untitled Tuesday, obviously, that I play, where there's no increment. Like, even this was 10-0, there's no increment. So if you are having problems with lag, You're losing time on the clock. Look, Chester comes in a rock and a hard place when it comes to Proctor because they need it. It has to be there. But it's making the playing experience less enjoyable. So, what do you do? What do you really do? What can you do? But there is something else that happened yesterday, and I said we'd get back to it, and for me, it is quite a fascinating story. So we go back to where we were, and we go to Maxim Matlakov. And you can see here the footage Chess24 put out on Twitter. What we'll do is we will open this, and I don't know if you will hear the sound, but I will try and put the sound on. My sound's not on. It's the only explanation. Yeah, none of it makes sense. So what I'll have is this, 50 seconds, and I will restart it and be quiet.
He's missing the idea.
That's crazy.
Or he's disconnected at this point because...
Is he disconnected?
He must have.
Oh my goodness.
It's the only explanation. Yeah, none of it makes sense.
Amon, that's heartbreaking.
It's about the worst. And Abdusattorov, he's going to move up not only to 7 points, but he will very likely occupy one of these top 2 spots. That's insane.
But he also misses out on money. Even if there's even prize money here, if you don't qualify, you finish top 5. There's like that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Maxim Matlakov was completely winning, but his internet disconnected. And what it meant is Nodirbek Abdusattorov not only got to 7 points, but he leapfrogged Hans Niemann, who then came out on Twitter and said this: Chess Mafia strikes again. Matlakov disconnects, giving Nodirbek the victory in a dead last position. Now he's 4th, narrowly missing 3rd, and a chance to qualify. Thankfully, Endgame will start hosting big money tournaments. Chess professionals are sick of playing on laggy, unreliable Proctor. Their decrease in participation speaks for itself. Yeah. So very interesting turn of circumstances there. Look, I don't think the Chess Mafia is involved. I think his internet just went out at the worst possible time, because he would have won that game, almost certainly, Matlakov. Nodirbek would not have qualified this way. Remember, there are still 3 more play-ins to determine 6 more players. So Fabi, Hans get their chances again. So does Matlakov. So does Wesley. So they all get a 3rd, a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 4th chance to try and do it. But when you're in such a great position, and of course you saw there potentially missing out on prize money, Matlakov. What are we doing? What is going on? So obviously the Fabi thing is a whole different thing compared to this. Internet going out is horrible. Like, man was winning. Man was completely winning. I understand it's part of the online chess sphere, but it is such a huge event. Like, he's missed out on prize money. He'd worked so hard to get into a winning position against one of the best grandmasters in the world. Not only does he win, but it derails Hans' chance, because maybe Matlakov would not have had better tiebreaks, and Hans would have been there, and then him and Wesley would have played a game, and you never know, he could have beat Wesley, or Wesley could have beat him, and then someone else qualifies. So Nodirbek, very, very lucky to get to 7 points, because his opponent disconnects. So again, what can you do? What can you do? You can't have everybody wait. I suppose you could have made Wesley and Hans wait and just, I don't know, try to get him back in the game, pause the game or something. I don't know what Chess.com's able to do on their end. But you would think in like such a big event, like this never happens over the board, obviously. And this wouldn't happen at the Esports World Cup, which at the end of the day, Chess.com Open aside, this is what everybody's trying to do. Yes, they're trying to qualify for the Chess.com Open because you can make prize money and it's a really cool event. But the top 3 at this event qualify for Esports World Cup, where there's infinitely more money available. There's potentially a contract with an esports team, either a very long-term contract, which some of them have signed, like Magnus and so on. But even if it's a short-term contract, that pays out quite well. And, it's a chance to go to this, although there's a scheduling conflict at the Esports World Cup with chess and the Grand Chess Tour, but that's a conversation for a different day. So 2 events in the first play-in. And we've still got 3 more of these. I don't know how Chess.com fixes this. I don't know what they can do, but it is so strange that in a huge prize money event, like Title Tuesday aside, that happens every week. But this does not happen every week. These events are not happening every week. This was on a Monday, firstly. The next one is tomorrow on a Wednesday, so that everyone can still play Title Tuesday. But like the players who've played well and already qualified, they've got nothing to stress about. But there's 6 spots left, and we've potentially just seen 2 or 3 players miss out because of these technical faults. And I get it. I get it. It's online chess. It's part of the thing. But you can't help but say, what are we doing here? What are we doing here that this can still happen in the big 2026? Chess.com's not a new company anymore. They've been around for a very long time. I understand a lot of the stuff is new. Proctor has not been around for forever. They're still fixing it. They're still trying to bug test it, and some of it does come to the software available. And, what can they do? But this is just really disappointing, right? Even if you're not one of the players, as a spectator, we've been robbed of the chance of seeing a Hans Niemann or a Fabiano Caro for now. They might still qualify, and then all of this will be fine. But they could have done it yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, have I just been ranting for 11 minutes? What do you think about it in the comments down below? Let me know.